When we created Amplifier and we created Center Stage, we realized that we need a Grammy ambassador, somebody that stands for innovation, somebody who has always been pushing the envelope. And the first name that came to mind is Mike Shinoda, for obvious reasons. Mike and Linkin Park have had an extraordinary career. Their career has been defined by innovation. They are multi-Grammy winners. They are, when we start thinking about Amplifier and Center Stage and the idea of discovery and shareability and creating community and adding to the music conversation, Linkin Park and Mike are the perfect representation of that. They are the biggest band on Facebook with over 50 million fans following their every move. So I'm honored, and it's my distinct privilege to introduce you all to Mr. Mike Shinoda.
Thanks. Thank you. And I'm thrilled to be a part of it, both the Grammy Amplifier project and the and Center Stage now. The Amplifier project has been a blast. It's been really fun to be a part of that with, of course, the other curators involved. There was RZA, Kelly Clarkson, who else was in? Ozzy, and it was Jim James at the end there. Yeah. I didn't see him in the beginning. Thrilled to be a part of it with all those guys, and we heard some really great music by new talent. And it was such my understanding is that it was such a successful effort that they decided to take it up to the next level, take it to a second stage in it. So here we are talking about Center Stage. I want to tell you guys a story that I felt when we were back there earlier discussing what this is really all about. I remembered, for some reason, it took me back to like being at my parents' house back in high school. And on the weekends, when most of my friends were going to the beach, they were going to parties at night, we would be at my house recording. And we'd be screwing around. I mean, at that point, we were imitating artists that we like. We were making rap songs. We were making rock songs. We were making joke songs. We were making silly songs. To be honest, some of them were us imitating Snoop Dogg. So if you can imagine what that sounded like, it was pretty funny. But every weekend we'd do this, all weekend. And people would call up, "Oh, you're going to come down to the wherever with us, the mall. You're going to come to the beach." No, we're having fun over here. We're working over here, you know. We'll play it for you. We'll come over to your house later and we'll play it for you. And there was a point at which a couple friends and I had a tape of some stuff that we thought we had made that was pretty cool, and we sent it to a guy, an A&R rep, he had a mailing address included in one of the CDs that we own, and they said, "Well, if you got demos, send them to this address." And we did, and he called us back a day later, which was unheard of. We were shocked. We were terrified. And he said, "Come on down. I want to meet you." And this gentleman's name was Paul, and he took us into his office, and he said, "So how did you make this music? What did you how many people are in the band?" We said, "Well, it's just the two of me and my friend, and we have a friend named Brad who plays guitar on some of it." And he's like, "Wait, you don't even have a band?" And he said, "No." He said, "Well, you need to put a band together. So I guess you haven't played any shows." We said, "No." He said, "Well, where did you record the music?" And I said, in my room." He's like, "Well, what kind of studio do you have?" I said, "I have a cassette 4-track. And he's looking at me like, "Kid, whatever you're doing, when you get to the point where you can actually do it in a professional environment," he's like, "it's going to be incredible. I want to hear every step of the way. Just keep sending me demos. You got to put a band together. You got to do X, Y, and Z." And we followed his advice. And this really comes down to, this is the reason I thought is that's really what this program is all about. It's about mentors. It's about people enabling other people who are new and kind of, they know they love what they're doing, but they don't yet know how to do it, right? So the Grammys is a very deep network of people who are of all different interests, all skill levels. And I think that one thing that these guys are, that I'm the most excited about is with Center Stage, the people who, when it comes down to the people who I don't know if you want to call it win, but the people who are selected for this, there isn't a defined prize. It's kind of going to be tailored. The ideas are get in the studio, make songs, go out on tour, or play a festival date, or make a video. But it's going to be tailored to whatever the artist, kind of whatever their dream scenario is. So if you're an artist out there watching, you're making music and you want to be a part of this, just know that these guys, their intention is to, find out what it is that you want and give you that. I've heard a lot of really great music. There've been so many songs and so many different artists that the names escape me at the moment. But I mean, you can go to, is it GrammyAmplifier.com? Is that, to say it right? No S's. Grammy Amplifier. And yeah, the music. I mean, there's a lot of great tracks on there. And I personally, I listen to a wide range of music. So I've been hearing stuff that was great songs in the blues, R&B, rap, rock, country. Yeah, there's all kinds of different things that places where I've caught some things that and some of it's pretty. I bet that some of the artists would have had a hard time putting their stuff in one category because it's blending a lot of different things, which obviously that's kind of where I come from. So my understanding so far has been again that the events that follow from that point out are kind of going to be tailored to that artist. So, if you can imagine, if you were to have discovered the next, Kanye West versus the next Arcade Fire, you're going to need to approach that a different way. Different things are going to drive them. It's going to be a different experience based on what kind of person or what kind of group that is. So they've left it very open. I was actually asking the same questions about an hour and a half ago. Well, what do you do if this, that, and it is they're trying to create something that's open so that it does work well for whoever because I predict that finalists will be very different from one another. Right. So it'll be a work in progress, but that's intended to be to the benefit of the finalist.
There'd be three artists or groups or whatever that submission is.
Ultimately, the Recording Academy and the Grammys are dedicated and focused on empowering the next generation of music makers and inspiring the next generation of music makers. And in terms of what the ultimate finalists, for lack of a better word, prize ultimately is, we want to work with them, and as Mike said, we want to tailor that experience that helps drive their particular career. And we also think that we're going to chronicle that experience as well and capture that and use that video as an extension of the program to sort of show what the results have been.
Can you tell a little bit about the project that where you guys paired different electronic artists with other artists, just in short, to give people an idea of the scale at which you would be operating?
Yeah, and I'll let John talk a little bit more about this, but I think this underscores the reason that Hyundai is the perfect partner for this program, because last year together, the Grammys and Hyundai put together a program called the Regeneration Project, which paired 5 of today's leading DJs with individual genres of music and had them kind of reimagine or regenerate what that music sounds like and is all about. So John, I don't know if you want to touch on that.
It was a documentary. It was about 90 minutes long, and we released it in independent theaters around the country a year ago in October. And what we did is I'll give you one example. There's 5 of them, but we worked with Skrillex, and we brought Skrillex into LA and brought in the 3 remaining members of the Doors, and they worked together and they reproduced a track together. And so during all this, we captured all this on film and then produced a documentary. And like Evan said, what we don't like to do is take a vehicle and put it out in front of a concert and say, here you are. What we like to do is work with the artist and help create that content for them, and then give them a platform for which they can show it. A good example in Center Stage is when we work with a producer or director, we would tailor that producer or director with that genre of music. So we don't have somebody in mind. We're going to wait to see who we select, and then work with a producer or director that best benefits them and fits their style.
Are you looking at this as sort of an open-ended, long-term relationship between the mentor and the contest winner, or is there, a year commitment to do this? How does that work?
Well, I think that candidly is a little bit fluid right now. We have some target dates. We have some target benchmarks between now and the conclusion of Center Stage, and I think that how the relationship with Mike and ultimately the three finalists, I think that's going to continue to evolve. We expect that the Amplifier and Center Stage will continue on for far longer, and we would like this to be a recurring, ongoing effort of the Recording Academy. And we would welcome that kind of involvement moving forward.